2019, a chemical plant outside Blackridge, Nevada, exploded in the middle of the night. The government blamed a toxic gas leak. But the truth? The people inside that factory didn't die. They turned into something far worse. Just after midnight, the Blackridge Chemical Facility suddenly went into emergency lockdown. Red warning lights flashed across the entire plant. Workers started running through the hallways in panic. Then, a massive explosion shook the building. A black SUV burst through the factory gate and sped down the empty desert highway. Behind the wheel was 21-year-old Emily Carter, a research assistant at the plant. Her hands were trembling so badly she could barely control the steering wheel. In the rearview mirror, she kept seeing movement. Something was following her. Her breathing got faster as she grabbed her phone and called her older brother. "Ryan, listen to me. Something terrible is happening at the plant." Her brother's sleepy voice answered, "Emily, it's like 2 a.m. What are you talking about?" Emily whispered, terrified. "They weren't making chemicals here. They were testing them on people. The workers." The call suddenly cut off. "Emily, hello?" At that exact moment, her headlights revealed a figure standing in the road. It didn't move, didn't blink, just stared. Emily slammed the brakes. Crash! Seconds later, the car exploded in flames. Authorities later said Emily died in the accident, but strangely, no body was ever recovered. 5 years later, Blackridge is now a dead town. After the explosion, hundreds of workers disappeared. The government sealed the entire area and labeled it Toxic Hazard Zone. No one was allowed near the factory. Not reporters, not investigators, no one. But Emily's brother Ryan never believed the official story. Because for 5 years straight, he had the same nightmare. Every night he found himself standing inside the burned-out factory, the air thick with toxic smoke, metal pipes dripping strange chemicals. Then he would hear a whisper behind him. "Ryan, help us!" He would turn around and see Emily. But her skin looked burned, her eyes hollow, and she always repeated the same words, "Set us free." "Testing what kind of toxins?" Maya lowered her voice. "The kind that keeps people alive after they're supposed to be dead." The video vanished from the internet hours after it was uploaded, like someone erased it. Ryan looked up slowly. What if Emily is still there? Food still sitting on kitchen tables, like everyone disappeared in the middle of their day. Then suddenly, they heard a low growling noise inside a nearby house. The door slammed open. Something stepped into the light. Its flesh was rotting, eyes glowing deep red, and its body moved in jerky, unnatural motions. Jake whispered, "That is not a human." Before they could react, the creature attacked. Moments later, the entire town echoed with horrifying screams. Dozens of figures began moving through the streets. The dead walking again. Ryan and Jake ran toward the abandoned factory. Inside, burned bodies were scattered everywhere, workers who had died in the explosion. Or so it seemed, because suddenly, the bodies started moving, charred fingers twitching, heads snapping upward, dead eyes opening. Jake stepped back in horror. "Oh my God, they're alive!" Then a voice echoed through the factory halls. "Ryan, over here!" Ryan froze. He recognized that voice instantly. Emily stepped out of the shadows, but she looked exactly like she did in his nightmares. Burned, changed, barely human. "I tried to escape that night," she said weakly. "They tested a chemical on all of us. It turns people into something in between life and death." She pointed toward the basement. "The man who ran the experiments, Dr. Reeves, he's still down there." Her voice trembled. "He controls them, and if he leaves this town, the infection spreads." Ryan clenched his fists. "How do we stop him?" Emily whispered. "There's a containment gas capsule in the basement. If it breaks outside, it will destroy every infected body in this town." Ryan and Jake rushed down the dark staircase. At the bottom stood a tall figure in a lab coat. "Dr. Reeves," his eyes glowing like fire. A twisted grin spread across his face. "Well, visitors." I was getting tired of zombie blood. Jake barely had time to react. The doctor lunged forward and bit into his neck. Ryan grabbed the capsule and ran. Outside the factory, dozens of infected figures surrounded him, including Jake. And behind them, Emily. She whispered one last time, "End this." Ryan smashed the capsule onto the ground. A violent burst of toxic gas filled the air. Within seconds, every infected body in Blackridge began burning from the inside. The town turned into a field of fire. As Ryan walked away through the desert road, he turned back once. Through the flames, he saw Emily standing there peacefully. Then slowly, she disappeared in the smoke. And Blackridge became nothing more than a forgotten town.